Hello, my fellow occupational therapists. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Memorandum of Understanding. Now, just to get a clear understanding, I'm just going to run through it pretty quick for you. So when discussing the Memorandum of Understanding, there will be 7 topics I'll be discussing today. So the first section will be the area of focus. The second will be your goals and objectives. The third will be your action plan and timeline that you aim to achieve, your final product within. The fourth will be your sites that this will be taking place at. The fifth will be your evaluative tools that will be used. The sixth will be relation of your doctoral internship to coursework that you've conducted. And finally, the last aspect will be any signatures that you'll need within your Memorandum of Understanding. So for the area of focus, what you'll need to do is you'll have to look for oh my god. Oh my god, I'm blanking. I am absolutely blanking. This is crazy. Oh, I can't say these words. So for the area of focus, what you'll need to look at, you'll have to identify what the demographic and what particular aspect you're working on. So if you're working amongst the pediatric population, what are you focusing on for your project? So is it an intervention type? Is it a condition that you're seeking to gather more information on? If it's research, this involves gathering not only your research in terms of studies you found, but also how it ties into the American Occupational Therapy Association. This also includes looking into the organization or site that you determined you want to go to, whether they work with a certain population and what they currently use as their own interventions, implementing a needs assessment, which has been used in your previous course within the communities class, will be useful in this case. So usually it's helpful if you use a SWOT analysis just to identify the pros and cons that are currently implemented and how you perceive there's aspect for growth. So you want to look for where you can fit in occupational therapy. That's the purpose of the area of focus. So next we're going to be looking at the educational goals and objectives. So I've talked about goals and objectives within a previous video. I'm just going to link it at the top. But just to summarize, goals in sum are going to be your end product. It's going to be the very end from 0 to 14 weeks. 0 to 14 weeks within your doctoral specialty internship. You'll have to gather a long-term goal. So these are going to be a little more abstract. It's going to be a little more broad. Your objectives, on the other hand, are going to be more intuitive. It's going to be more concrete, more short-term, things you can accomplish within a week or within maybe a few weeks or maybe even like 2 days. It really depends on whatever you determine is reasonable to come up with. So within the action plan or timeline, what you'll have to identify is within those 14 weeks, you'll have to look at your DSI and identify particular dates from the beginning, which is around sometime in May, to the end in August. So typically you'll want to look at aspects like meeting with your site mentor, performing site analysis or a SWOT analysis to get a needs assessment. So you're gathering data, and then maybe you can say by week 6 you're going to start doing your midterm. You're going to be gathering certain aspects of data you'll be completing, and by the end of it you'll have a sum up of everything. So you'll finish, let's say, your poster by week 12 is your deadline. You're setting up little deadlines for yourself. That's all the action plan is. Try to be as comprehensive and realistic as possible. That's the most ideal way to do this. So the fourth part is pretty simple. You just have to list off any potential sites that you might have. So sometimes you might just have one, and that's all you do. You just place the name of the site under the heading for potential sites within your doctoral specialty intern. For the fifth portion, involving the evaluative tool, this is mostly going to be blank in the sense of you don't have to fill it out just yet. I'll show the example I have for myself, but typically this is for any evaluative tools that you used throughout your doctoral specialty internship, your midterm, evaluation as well, and just how you determined your outcome measures. This is where that will go. So for the relation of your doctoral specialty internship and your coursework that you've previously conducted within Gannon University, you're going to have to look at the span of the 3 years that you've been at Gannon and determine what courses will be most evident for your specialty internship. So, for example, let's say you're working with pediatrics, let's say, okay, with kids. So you're going to need to know a foundation of kinesiology. You've taken that class. You're going to have to look at neuroscience if you're working with neurological disorders. Let's say maybe that's the intervention with neurological intervention and kids. You'll have to look at the pediatric courses as well. So you should have 2 courses under your belt. And you're going to have to discuss what aspects in particular. So, for example, you can look at pediatrics in terms of interventions that you learned. You'll list some outcome measures. You'll look at interventions that were used. You'll identify certain traits within children that you identified during your fieldwork. So just to show as an example, here is my example for what I placed within this section. And you want to make sure you're comprehensive about how these courses help you to complete your doctoral specialty internship. And finally, you want to just make sure you have all signatures required for your Memorandum of Understanding. You need to keep in mind that this is a very living document in the sense that within those 3 years you're at Gannon University, your memorandum will change potentially as your site needs change and your goals and objectives change. So you want to keep in mind that you might have to revise your MOU, and you're going to need to get another signature from your site mentor. So the 3 signatures you'll need is your site mentor, your faculty mentor, and yourself. So with those 3, if I can get the fingers up, those are the 3 that you will need to complete your MOU. And that's it. So I will see you guys in the next video. I'm going to be working on the Capstone initiation, so look out for that one. And that's it. Take care, and I'll see you there.